G'day traders, we're going to wrap up of Thursday, September 6th. So you can see here we've had quite a significant push up today. We've not only pushed through this previous resistance area, we've also pushed through this high that we made a couple of days ago, and the market's now making new highs where it hasn't been for a few years. Just bringing up some of the shorter term charts of the price action, just looking at the 1 minute chart here, just going over it for a second, you can see it's one of those days where it's all one direction. You can see all through the morning session just constantly up, hardly any sort of pullback, and then a very sideways movement, which quite often happens when you get a really good move like that. The market just goes into a consolidation period and really is stuck within a 2 point range for the afternoon. So the thing about these sort of movements, with day trading, especially, there's quite a lack of opportunity. What we need is change in direction, multiple different moves, multiple trends, or at least made fairly decent pullbacks. Something like this, it's just all one direction. Quite a few opportunities, even those slower markets we've seen in August, threw up more opportunities than something like this. So it's sort of one of those days that, unless you get on very early with some sort of breakout directional move, it's very hard to get on board. It's sort of just got to sit on your hands and watch, and even though there's a lot of movement, can't really take advantage of it in most circumstances. The good thing about these top markets, but they happen rarely because they are difficult ones to trade. Probably 1 or 2 days a month, if that, we'll just get a one directional move like this, and most of the time we are getting multiple directions. But the thing, I guess, even though there's no real solid setups that I want to point out, is today was a little bit predictable as far as the up move. And I've got here a 15-minute chart. What happens, and and this is applicable to any sort of time frame, 1 minute charts, daily charts, whatever sort of charts, is when you break a significant area, what happens, you're likely to get a push through, a real continuation. It starts to trigger a whole heap of new orders, and from there it just kind of blasts away from that area. So you see that sometimes on the 1 minute chart. It creates maybe a high or low. As soon as it breaks it sort of gets a real push or momentum through it. So the same thing happened today. I've got this 15-minute chart up, and we've been speaking about how we've just been in this channel for really a couple of weeks now. Certainly really solidly within this tight channel for the last few days, and it's sort of, you can see I've got it marked there, but it wasn't until we broke out of it. You can see we've got some real power through it for the first time, came back, used it as support, and then away we went. And sort of as the cash market was opening, we're breaking a significant area, and this will happen. So on the daily charts, if it's ever breaking a significant swing point, or swing high, swing low, or in this particular case, breaking out a significant channel, then all of a sudden you'll get a real continuation. So, days like this, you try to see them coming, and most of the time there's a little bit of warning that they're coming. But certainly, this one was one that was very strong, just all movement one way, and that was certainly up. As far as, just looking at this 5 minute chart here, you can see we didn't get the first pullback until almost lunchtime here. It's come up here a few times. It's tried to break a little bit lower. You can see here it's sort of made a little bit of a low point here, and it's sort of breaking down through this. And the other markets, especially the Russell, were starting to push down through it. And this sort of time, if the buyers weren't so strong, all of a sudden you get a bit of reversal. And around here, this is where you start a new direction and start to push down. But this is a little bit different. It's like I talked about earlier, they're breaking significant areas on these longer term charts, so therefore there's a lot of power, a lot of momentum with the buyers. It's just a day where it's going to be very hard for sellers to have any sort of go when these buyers are moving so strongly. So just a quick wrap up, not going into a lot of detail as far as what happened during the actual cash market, but just an overview of trying to understand a little bit more about, and it's all to do with order flow within these markets and what makes the markets move, and when they hit significant areas, they're also going to get some momentum and some continuation. So that's a wrap up for Thursday, and we'll be back next week.